want to welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. Is there a war now between Lebanon and Israel? Well, the key word, the question is now. There's been a war between these two bodies for thousands of years. In fact, all the conflict, the war that we see in the Middle East right now goes all the way back to the book of Genesis. In fact, in Genesis chapter 16, we have the promise of God to Ishmael. And in Genesis 17, we have the promise of God to Isaac. Now, the Bible's very clear that Ishmael, Genesis 16, will be a man of the wilderness. It says that Isaac will be an inheritor of the land, what we know as the promised land. And this is not the time nor the question for the Israeli ownership of what we know as the promised land. What you need to understand is from Genesis chapter 17, the descendants of Ishmael and the descendants of Isaac have all been fighting over this quote unquote land. And Lebanon is a place today that is highly saturated with the descendants of Ishmael who despise the descendants of Isaac that are in, quote, Israel. So yes, is there war? There's always war between these entities. The question is, how heated is the war? And even if rockets are not firing, and even if war has not been declared, what everybody needs to understand is there is a war that has always been. The only issue is how violent is it, and are the rockets actually actively being fired? So is Lebanon at war with Israel? Well, I can tell you this. The descendants of Ishmael, who, by the way, possess modern-day Syria, Lebanon, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, Egypt, etc., are at war with Israel, whether it's been declared by the Prime Minister or not. Great question. If you have one, send to AskJeff.net. Maybe your question will be tomorrow's. Thanks for being a part of today's daily question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at AskJeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.